off the ground. It's much needed. And credit where credit is due, the mayor handled that one well.
That's great.
Yeah, I agree. Especially with the shortage we have right now. So yeah.
So I'm just looking at the numbers of attendees. We have 4 people, so I think I'll just turn this into a meeting, and I'm going to promote everyone to a panelist. So you'll get an invite. So just if you can accept it, that would be great. So I'll just do that now, and then we'll get started. Okay.
There's more.
Okay.
Okay.
I think we've got everyone, and I'll keep my eye open for other people that would like to join.
Lauren, you look well.
Oh, good.
It's good to see you.
Hi, Lauren.
Well, as someone who's recovering from a city-related accident.
Are you going to sue us or them?
That's what the insurance is there for.
Yeah, they'll work that one out amongst themselves.
That's why there's the volunteer death and dismemberment policy.
You weren't dismembered though, were you?
No, and I'm not dead either.
You look very well, though. I'm going to be honest with you. You look good.
I don't know if you remember us. We met with you about a project on Hilson and Iona.
Okay. There were a few projects there.
It's the nice one.
Yeah.
Oh, the big house.
Oh, now you remember.
Where the garage used to be.
Big and nice, right.
I was first thinking, that's Kirkwood and Iona, not Hilson and Iona.
No, Hilson and Iona. That was the first one. We did.
You mean the semis?
Yeah.
Correct.
That's it.
Okay. The one's right at the corner.
Yes, that's right. It's a park behind it.
I hope they're appealing enough.
Pardon?
I hope they were appealing enough.
Yeah.
They look good.
The one next to yours is much better because one of the owners is a key volunteer for our skating rink.
Well, you know what? I'm happy to pass the torch, so.
We might as well get underway, Alice?
Yeah, I think so. Like I said, I'll keep my eye open for any late joiners, but yeah, let's get started. It's 5 after 7, so I think we're good to go. I think I know most of you here on the call, but for those of you that I haven't met, my name is Alice, and I help Jeff manage the planning and development files for the ward. Thanks for taking the time tonight to attend this open house regarding a rezoning for 249 Westhaven. As stated in the notice for the meeting, the owner, who's here tonight, is preparing to bring forward an application to convert the existing triplex into a sixplex. And in order to do that, a rezoning from the current R3R is required to a form of R4 zoning, and no changes to the building envelope are proposed. Before we get into the meeting, I'll just quickly go over some housekeeping items. Number 1, in terms of the format, it's going to be pretty informal because we are a smaller group. However, we're going to start with Susan Smith, the architect, and Mike, the owner. They're going to offer a short presentation on the proposal, and after that, we will open the meeting to a Q&A. Number 2, yeah, I think since we are a smaller group, you can either use the written Q&A function, or we can just use raise hand and have a chat. Number 3 to notice is that this is being recorded and it will be posted on the Kitchissippi Ward YouTube channel by the end of the week. So if you know someone who couldn't make it tonight, please feel free to let them know about that. Or if you want to go back and review it, please do. You should be able to find it just by typing in Kitchissippi Ward on YouTube. And if you can't, just send our office an email and we'll send you the link. So with that, I'm going to hand things over to Susan and Mike to make a presentation.
Great. Thank you, Alice, and thank you, everyone who.
Sorry to interrupt
I
so
just maybe,
quickly.
yeah, go ahead.
Sure.
Is it possible to introduce everybody so we all know like who's a neighbor, who's what?
Sure.
Before we go
Good
ahead?
idea. Yeah. Yeah, please go ahead.
Well, since I jumped in, my name is Lauren Cutler. I'm the president of the local community association, Hampton, Iona.
Okay, I'm Susan, and this is Mike, and Tando is my assistant as well. He's just behind us on his own computer. In case we need something urgently, he can look it up.
I'm Jeff Leeper. I am the city councilor for the neighborhood, and it looks like you'll be able to differentiate me from the other Jeff who's on this call, who is not yet looking like Santa Claus in terms of beard color. That's a good beard, Jeff.
Thank
It's
you.
a good beard.
Getting close to Santa Claus colors spreading. I'm just a resident. I saw the notice and I was curious. I've never seen these before, so I hopped in.
And then there's John.
I'm just a resident. Live nearby.
Welcome. Thank
Hi,
you.
John.
All right.
Okay, Susan,
And
feel free to get started.
Yes, thank you, John, Jeff, and Lauren, and Jeff, and the two Jeffs, and Alice for being with us tonight. Back in 2014, Mike Baroud here came to us with a very interesting property. If I can share the screen. As you can see, it's very long and narrow. It was 9.1 meters by 60 meters long. It had a vacant old house on it that was in very bad shape, but it's in an amazing location close to Carling, in between Carling and Wellington, with a great pathway behind it, linear park underneath the hydro wires. So it's a great urban location. So we came up with an innovative solution, which was a triplex. It was called a triplex because we divided it into three, but we even had to get a special kind of definition approval from the planning department because it's divided kind of vertically, more like a townhouse, but they agreed that it had enough overlap that it met the definition of a triplex. So that triplex complied with the R3R zoning that it was at that time. The thing is, these units are very big. Some of them are over 3,000 square feet. What the plan is now is to divide it up into each of these units into two. And so we have still quite large units, over 1,000 square feet, most of them, and with some smaller units. So now you see on the ground floor, the smaller units. There will be no change to the building envelope and not even to the front exterior doors. It's more like interior partitions dividing it up. And we met with the city planners and they had no objection to our proposal other than some suggestions to remove some of the asphalt, which we did have variances for. Back in 2015, we got variances for side yard setbacks and some front yard zoning that's all changed now anyway. And the current planners with the current proposal also wanted clarification where the garbage was going and some added bicycle parking spaces in the front. So this is our new proposal. And so you can see the building is staying pretty much the way it is, other than more landscaping on the front, a bit of closed off area here for the garbage. Everything else is staying exactly the same.
Closed off as well as for the bike racks.
Yeah.
They're also underneath a canopy overhang.
For the bike racks. So we've drawn the elevations here, but there's pretty much the old elevations. Pretty much the same thing. Here's the closed off area, which would have the garbage and the bike racks behind it. And as you know, there's been a new official plan, and we're right in the area here of what is it, gentle development or intensification, and it's in the inner urban transit, and it's evolving neighbor. That's what I'm looking for. So this the pink dotted area is evolving neighborhood. And the intention in the evolving neighborhood is to encourage innovative housing solutions and provide substantial increases in density. And we know that all the zoning is going to be changing in a year from now, a little over a year. But
in your future,
Mike doesn't want to wait. He wants people to find more housing, and this rezoning will help to meet this requirement. And Mike, you want to?
Yeah, thank you, Susan, for that. And again, thanks everybody for being here. Another thing, I know that we are having a shortage in housing, and there's a lot of properties that I'm sure are going to be starting to develop and change, you know, as far as creating more density and more places for people to live. In my case, or in this case, I'm trying, I did it in a way, or I designed it in a way right now where I'm not going to be disturbing people. So it's one of those bonus or one of those positive attributes to my project or my vision here, while keeping my existing tenants under a roof while bringing in new tenants. So the whole do not disturb portion of my project is something I really thought about when I was presenting this to Susan. And I think that's all I would like to add for now.
So just to be clear, it's currently an R3R, which would limit the number of units in the building. And so you're going to ask City Council to rezone it to an R4 something?
Can I just
R4C?
the screen?
Yes, we're actually the cutoff of that R4 zone as well on the street. The R4 is, sorry, what is the R4?
This is R4 UC.
UC, okay.
Beside it. So we're just going to move that red line up a bit to include 246.
And then the R4UC doesn't require, are there what sort of differences from R4UC are you seeking in terms of the performance standards, if any? I guess none, like it's the building envelope is the building envelope, right?
The building envelope is the building envelope. Is the height restriction does not change either with that different with the R4, meaning we're still below the height restriction. It just allows us to open up more doors.
Yeah, perhaps your question was about exceptions from the zoning from the R4 UC. Were you asking?
Yeah,
that?
Just curious.
Right. So we will be asking for some exceptions from the side yard, just like we did previously. We've got minor variances for those, but for a 6-unit, the setbacks go to 1.5 meters, and we have 1.2 and 0.71 on the two different sides. I think that, yeah, what was the other, was there any other town? I think that's it. That's all the zoning, the zoning changes.
And there's no change in parking requirement from what you have to the R4 UC.
No, we don't need parking up to 12 units.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So have a zoning chart.
Oh yeah, we did have a zoning chart.
Open up the zoning chart.
Yeah, this one. Just double check this. Here we go. Okay, I'll share the screen. So here we have, oh yes, the lot width, because it is such a narrow property. We have to go from 9.1 from 10 to 9.1. We're
Right.
still quite a bit over the minimum area. We're below the minimum height. We actually have 10.5, I think, the existing building. And we're more than the front yard setback. So this is the exceptions here, the side yards.
Okay.
Everything else is good. We have 6 spaces instead of 3 required, and 1 vehicle space.
What is that for the rear where you're leading to, I forget, sorry, bikes and garbage or bikes and waste? Is that a garage door?
No, that is more of a panel from column to column. As you see, there's an overhang at the front. So that's a panel that closes it off from column to column to hide the garbage from the road.
There'll be garbage.
More closure area, and the bikes will also be in that enclosed area as well.
Okay.
So just to contain and of course, keep it under a roof so there's less less area for messes and better area for functionality.
Yeah, I mean, I have to imagine this is probably a fairly easy approval for you from committee, but if anyone has any questions, feel free to just jump in. We're a small group.
It's for rezoning.
Yeah.
Sure. I have a question. It's Jeff, the resident.
Cool.
So I live on Westhaven. And I'm just, anyway, last year there was a new property, maybe a couple years ago, built at the corner of Westhaven and Clare. And in those plans, they said they were going to add more green space than what was there before. And like literally the next day after they got their approval, they paved over everything, and there's no green space anymore at all at that property. And right now, when I walk by that apartment, there's always like 5, 6 cars parked in front. So I'm having trouble seeing how that parking situation is going to work out with all of that new green space.
The parking is going to be cut. The tenants will be parking on the crescent and the street as well. And for the new units, we're encouraging more people that take transit. That's what we're encouraging too when we're looking at applications for rent. So that's the goal. Is not to have,
How are you encouraging it? Are you giving people bus passes? Or
no,
just telling them there's no parking, park on the street?
Bus passes is not a bad idea, Mr. Cutler.
Or
Bus
the other,
passes is not a bad idea.
the other
You know, 'cause
option
That'd be
I've
pretty
been,
cool. That'd be
I've
pretty
been around
innovative.
this.
Bus pass is not a bad idea.
I've been in enough of these meetings to say you're going to encourage people to take transit.
Well, it's not.
Now,
It's transit that encourages people to take transit, right? So it's transit when it becomes, more.
well, the city is failing miserably at
The
putting together
city is working.
an effective
City,
transit
yeah, I
system.
understand,
So
but I understand what you're saying. But see, I work in the industry. I am in construction. I never get it right, and I'm going to be honest with you. I always learn. I never get it right. If I got it right, I don't think I would be doing what I'm doing because I would think I know it all. So I understand what you're saying. I totally do. I can't do much of encouragement of anything except try to do the best that I can do what I do. And that's the truth, Mr. Cutler. But
it's
I
just,
understand what you're saying.
I've raised this a number of
Affordability, I'm going to be honest with you, affordability is probably a reason why people do take transit because they can afford to take the transit and they can afford a 1-bedroom apartment. So there's a lot of different classes and styles of people and where they live and how they live. I can't tell you what I'm going to get, but what I do know is, when you throw that line out there, you get all kinds of different varies of life and different people of different walks of life. Some that do have bus passes, maybe some that walk, maybe some that drive, maybe some that bike, jog, etc. I really can't answer that question, but I hope to get a variety of everything and try to be a part of something that's part of this city which is evolving. So yeah, I'm not quite sure who is getting what right or wrong, but I am 100% sure it takes a lot of practice to get it right. So I hope we all get the chance to keep practicing in this beautiful thing called life and work and community and love. So that's all I can tell you, Mr. Good man.
Can I just say another option could be to have a ride share in the one parking space. I don't know
Maybe
if
I
that's
will put
worked
a
out.
plug for an electric vehicle or electric scooters.
Oh,
This
right.
is
A
something
vehicle is still a car.
you know, there's a lot of things, you know, but
It's still a car. It still takes up space.
Well, we
And
do have one
this is my
parking
pet
space.
beef with Jeff, with the council, is if they're going to do away with parking, they should start to charge for street parking in our neighborhood like they do in the center of the city. And I am curious, since I'm not in that area that often, what is the on-street parking situation like currently?
It's not
Is
great.
there space,
Yes,
or is it
in
usually
Crescent, yeah.
completely chock-a-block?
It's pretty full already. And we don't have a car. We choose to not have a car. I mean, I'm always walking my dog around there, and it's a minor right. I get it. People can park on the street, it's fine. But I find it frustrating because we're always walking in the middle of the street and then exposed to the traffic and all that. You just got to be more careful. And so I anticipate that this will make it worse. Still.
You know, Jeff, I'm not going to disagree with you, but I'm on the street quite often as well. I find that there's a lot of cars driving in the street in the morning when people are leaving the area because we're not a through street, right? And I see people coming, after work. I don't know. Maybe you see something other than I do. Maybe may I ask you what part of this? Do you live on that side of the street or the other side of the street?
I'm on the opposite side.
Opposite side?
Yeah, closer to Kirkwood.
Okay.
And
So
I'm not
I'm
asking,
not going to disagree with you about cars driving, but
and I'm not asking about the amount of cars driving on the street.
I personally have never seen cars go through that street as it's not a through street.
My question was
And a
not
lot
about
of
cars.
people do have,
Excuse me, every time I try and ask this, my
yes,
question was not about cars driving on the street. It's about cars parked on the street evenings and weekends.
Mr. Cutler, I was speaking to Jeff. I can get
Yeah,
to
but
you.
my original question was about parking,
So
not driving.
okay, all right. Now, just to let you know, just to make it clear, I'm not responsible for every single person on that street. It's quite a
Of
large
course,
street, as
I'm
you
not
can
implying that
see.
at all.
There's quite a lot of roofs on this street. I understand what you're saying, but I'm going to be honest with you. I know who my tenants are, and I know I have cameras on my property, and my tenants rarely, I mean rarely, have a visitor. But so I'm just telling you from my experience, from what I'm looking at, a lot of those cars that you're talking about are not from my property, but I
Oh, I
totally
understand
understand.
that, but now you've got many cars parked there currently, and it's going to go down to one space. And if those tenants stay there, I don't imagine they'll be selling their cars um,
So,
after the
so the
redesign.
Crescent, yeah, I understand, but the Crescent has public parking. So that whole Crescent has public parking.
Yes.
So all this is public here.
Yeah, that's all public parking. I'm not quite sure if you're aware of that, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, those are typically taken up by the not semis, but row houses. I don't know what you want to call those. Anyway, I just wanted to raise that concern to
No, I
because my
appreciate
main
your
concern
concern.
really is that green space actually going to be there? Because the only experience I have with this type of thing so far is the house at the corner of Westhaven and Claire that they had the green space there. It was nice for about a day, and now it's parking. And so, is that going to happen again?
I understand. Thank you, Jeff.
If I may, Jeff, did you report that to my office?
No, but I
Because we
can do
go
it
after,
right now.
yeah, yeah, I'll forget this, but we do go after those. It's a grind to get landscaping reinstated. We do go after them, and months later, we're usually successful. Absolute grind, but we can get it done.
Well, that particular property was all raised when it went to the Committee of Adjustment. The whole
Yeah, I
lot has
remember
been
you from
paved
that.
over, and occasionally they come out with big flower pots and then say that's their landscaping. And then they move the flower parts so you can park on the whole property again.
Yeah, has bylaw been involved?
I don't know.
Okay.
This one?
May I ask you another question, Jeff? Yes,
Yeah, okay.
yes. If there was a last name, I would also say your last
Oh,
name.
11. Okay.
How long have you been living in the area?
11 years now.
11 years. You remember the puddling we used to have, correct?
Yeah, that was awful. When that
Yeah, that
building
was very
first
awful.
went up, that was,
So,
yeah.
okay, so just let me tell you a little bit of background on that. So when I bought the property, you were probably still in that area. You're in that area. It had, because of the crown of the road, we had a lot of puddling. There was more puddling when the old property was there than when I developed mine. Now, when I developed mine, I did extra drainage in certain areas to help with the flow of the water, to help with the street. Now, I don't want to name names and I don't want to say who, but someone closed it off without thinking logically. Because logically, when you close it off, you're going to have that problem again. And that problem doesn't bother me as much as it bothers everybody else, but I want to try to solve it. Anyway, and this is another thing where the city, after a while, they learned, they got it right. They came and they solved our problem
Yeah,
because
like a year or two ago, they added some
they did an
additional.
amazing job. So, Mr. Leeper, I'd like to thank you guys for that as well, because you guys helped not just me, but everybody, even this, and Jeff over here, I'm sure he appreciates that when he walks with this child, that she doesn't walk through a major puddle in the middle of the road, which has been solved. And I just like to mention that to Jeff, that we were part of that solution. And I just want to let you know that we were pushing for the whole street and the whole neighborhood. It had nothing to do with us. Just
I
us.
don't know the history behind it.
Right.
From my experience, it seemed when that new property went in, there was far less drainage, and then it got much worse. And then a couple of years later, because it was all paved over, right? There was much more paving
Right.
initially,
So you
and then it
exactly
was
repeat
fixed a
exactly
couple
what
of
I
years
said, right?
after.
It was bad.
Okay,
I made it better,
I
and
had
the
understood it
person made it worse,
differently.
and then we fixed it. Yeah. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that, Mr. Cutler. If you'd like to add anything else, please.
I have a number of questions. My first one will be for Councillor Lieber. As a sixplex, does this have to have site plan approval?
Nope. Threshold's 10 now. Over 10.
So the front lawn can be paved over, and then we're not half landscaped, and we could be trying to pursue bylaw to fix it because it's not part of site plan.
We don't have the same protections we had, Susan. You got your hand up?
I just wanted to say, because we have to go through this rezoning process, it is very similar to site plan control. We're having to do all the same typical reports and did you want to say something?
But the reports have nothing to do with Jeff. That's with the planners.
Right, but
No,
we're having to do the landscaping. It's the city planners have been asking for.
Oh yeah.
They're directing us, and so it's the same process as though we're going for site plan control.
And I get what you're saying, Mr. Cutler. It's like and Jeff. So you guys are on the tip of both. Jeff is like parking and you, sir, is greenery. So I get that both balances here, and we're gonna try to balance it as best as we can. And I understand what you're saying about people put green space and take it away, and there's things that you got to do. Well, I'm not really interested in throwing my money away, to be honest with you. I want to do nice landscaping. You park, great. You don't park, that's not my business.
Lauren, if I may, we'll try to find whatever the mechanism is whereby we can make sure that that's because site plan is ordinarily where we wrote the landscape plan into an enforceable agreement between yourself and the city. We won't have that anymore, so I'll just make sure for because I am very interested in seeing, despite the fact that it's going to put a couple of cars more trying to park on the street, I am very interested in seeing the soft landscaping go in. So Lauren, message heard, and I'm not sure I can promise you a ironclad, but we'll get as close as we can.
We have a number of questions. Currently with the triplexes, I counted on the the original schematics, you've got 1 2-bedroom and 2 3-bedrooms. Is that correct?
1 2-bedroom and 2 3-bedrooms.
The current configuration.
The current configuration, as far as the bedrooms in the unit, yes. The other one, there's offices in the unit right now. There's showing that one.
Okay. What will the configuration be with the new 6 units vis-a-vis bedrooms?
So there'll be a one bedroom, a 1 bachelor, and a one bedroom office. As you can see here, we're sharing that on the screen with you. So we'll start with the one bedroom office. Yeah, show that one right there, the yellow one.
Mm-hmm.
The yellow here. Oh, that's
show this
that's
one.
Existing. You want existing or new?
No, the new.
I want new.
The new.
Show them the new.
So here's the new. 1 bedroom, 1 bedroom, 1 bedroom.
Yeah, but can you just
3, 2,
show
1?
it? Yeah, just show it so we can see it. And I know that we can get a copy of it, but we want to show them right now.
You mean the whole plans? There?
Correct. Okay, so zoom in on the yellow one on the left, top left.
Okay.
All right, great. So, Mr. Cutler, right here, as you see, 1 bedroom. It's got a kitchen, laundry, and it has an office. This is the largest of the smaller units. This is, I'm not gonna quote you the square footage.
It's right there. It's 97 square meters. So
The exact is right there.
Yeah.
Is that square footage or meters?
That's square meters. It's about.
Okay, so that's why I said square meters.
I can do the math. So
you can do the math.
I don't know 1,100 square feet.
I don't remember. It's not just times 10, right? So that
about 1,100 square feet.
Okay, let's show them the blue one. Yeah. There's the blue one.
That's the smallest one.
Okay. That's the smallest one.
It's a bachelor.
That's the bachelor. Has a kitchenette. It has its own laundry as well. And it has a bathroom, shower, tub. Okay, now don't look at the yellow because the yellow is part of the upper unit. So let's not show you that right now. Go to the green. So the green is a 1 bedroom, which is how many square feet? 70 square meters.
So about 800.
About 800. Great. Now you want to see the how the other ones were. Well, the other ones didn't change. As you can see, nothing changed there.
Well, clearly they've gotten smaller, but you're saying there's still the same number of bedrooms.
No. What I'm saying is the layout you see here didn't change. So remember that this showed them the 2 floors together. You go a little lower. So that's 1 unit now. That's the upper unit. They got 2 floors. The bedrooms don't change.
Yeah.
See where the bedrooms are on the upper floor? Their living room, dining room, kitchen is on the main floor. See that?
Yeah. But
And
before they would have had the space underneath it as
underneath as well.
So
yeah.
it has gotten smaller, but it's still 3 bedrooms.
It's gotten smaller. It's still 3 bedrooms. And this is one other thing too is I've had great families come and stay with me. I've had embassies come and stay with me. I've had wonderful people. I've had some sports athletes who were really great to all the neighbors. And, you know, it was nice having NHL players and CFL players walking my neighborhood saying hi to the kids. It was a beautiful sight. I'm going to be honest with you. We used to have a basketball rim too. They used to throw basketball with the kids. It was a beautiful sight. Anyway, we're not losing the families and we're not losing people that can, you know, withhold all these bedrooms. And we're also gaining some of the people that are single and can't afford anything more than, you know, a 2-bedroom apartment or a 1-bedroom apartment. So the building is going to diversify itself into getting all people from all walks of life.
So as I understand it, there is still 1 2-bedroom, 2 3-bedrooms, both of which will be a bit smaller, but as you said, they were quite large to begin with.
Yes, sir.
1 1-bedroom, 1 bachelor, and 1 bedroom plus office.
Correct, sir.
Okay. Okay, so we're not losing family housing here.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Okay.
I'm all
That's
for that.
good to hear.
Born and raised, sir, in Ottawa. I'm all for that. Familia.
The accessibility requirements for 6 units versus 3. Because before, basically, you had 3 townhouses attached to each other. So there was no issue about how, like, someone on the top floor would get out because they own the second and the first floor as well as part of their. So how are the stairwells going to work that people on the top can get out of the building in case of, well, normally and in case of a fire?
So this is ground level entry on all units.
Okay.
The smaller units, you enter in from the ground and you're in your unit.
Okay.
The larger units, you enter in from ground and you have stairs going up into your unit. And then that's it. The other floor is part of your unit, so there's nothing obstructed.
Okay, so you're adding staircases from
No,
the outside for the
no,
second.
no, staircases are all existing. These units had doors, back doors as well, because remember, there's slab on grade. There's no basements here, right? So that's why it's easy to convert without interrupting anyone. Very innovative design. That's all I can tell you, sir. The best architect in the city, right here. Yeah, she laughs at herself, but she's amazing.
Okay.
She's like a bottle of wine. She's the best. You're the best.
So you can see on the ground floor, it was more rec rooms and offices previously.
Mm-hmm.
The existing.
Open area.
Open areas, rec rooms, and offices on the ground floor.
Okay.
Really, really like almost unused space. They're very large, these units.
Mm-hmm.
And all these people who live currently each of these units, they're still going to be able to live there during the construction period?
Correct, sir.
And they lose their main floors?
Yeah, because everything was, and this building, the whole envelope is all fire rated, Mr. Cutler. So everything was done previously. The only thing you do is you add the kitchenette and you close off one entry. Because once you enter into the first unit, I'll give you an example. You enter into the first unit, you have a door to go into your basement.
The lower level.
That door gets closed off, and then you just go upstairs and you're into your other unit. You're into your unit, and the other one has a side door. Show them the side door.
Here?
You know, on the first unit.
Oh, the first
Yeah,
unit.
right there. See, you come in here, so you're not interrupting everybody, anyone. So look, let me show you. Right
so
here.
we'll go down to the.
No, give me this for a second. So this door here and this door here get removed, and a fire-rated wall goes into this room. You walk in, you go upstairs, you're right here now. See that?
Okay.
So this door belongs to this unit.
Now,
when we close this off, you walk here, you enter in, you have your unit. Look at your new unit, how it looks like. We're adding, you see the kitchen? Ah, sorry, guys.
yeah, there you go.
So the bathroom's already existing. You're adding the kitchen and you're adding the washer, dryer, closet, not bothering the person upstairs 1 minute.
So if, from the looks of it then, on the side, on that entrance, that double closet is actually for the unit upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
They're coming in there, their closet's on the main level, and then they go up the stairs to the rest of their unit.
Correct. And then they have a bedroom / office on that main level. If they're working from home, they work on that ground floor, you see? And then they go up, they have a large family room, dining room, kitchen. They have a beautiful balcony where they have access to barbecue as well. And then they go upstairs and there's the bedrooms with the 2 master bathrooms. You see that? Each room has its own bathroom.
Okay.
Honestly, I'd love to live here myself.
You do.
Nice units. Yeah, nice units. And same
Then
thing.
you'd have to give up your truck.
Yeah. I think well, they both cost money, so yeah. But and so on and so forth with the purple. If you need more explanation, just let me know.
Okay, I think that answers my questions for now. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks. We do have a couple of comments from Scott in the Q&A, so I'm just going to read them out, and Susan and Mike, I'll let you respond to them. Scott writes, I walked by the property this afternoon. There were 4 cars parked in the driveway in front of this property. I like the new green space in front, but with 3 units becoming 6 with only 1 parking spot, what will happen to the existing tenant vehicles?
Same thing that I told Jeff. They'll be parking on the Crescent, and they'll be parking on the street. So the Crescent parking belongs to the city. It does not belong to the neighborhood. So yeah, that's what will be happening. And again, the density of the units are going to be, I can't give you the definition of a person who is going to be taking transit of what that person is, but I know that the diversity of the units, it will invite more people that do take transit. But again, I can't give you that answer. That's what will happen.
But I noticed from the new Schedule B, the interurban transit, there is planned LRT going down Carling Avenue. No? Yes?
30 years.
Yeah, it's a line on a map. But that's not going to be built anytime soon.
Okay.
It's a great transit neighborhood. And it is close to a lot of walkable amenities, and it's not impossible by any means for someone to live here without a car. Westhaven, thank you very much, Jeff. Westhaven will have more cars parked on it as a result of this building going in, if those tenants try to bring their cars. And like I know I have this discussion every open house I have these days. Some residents will try to move in here with a car, and become very frustrated at their ability to park it. There's winter parking bans. People call on their neighbors for overtime parked cars. Spots can be difficult to find as competition increases. But they're free to try. But there is certainly going to be a lot of people who are able to move into a unit like this and take advantage of a walkable transit-rich neighborhood. So we know that going in, council has deliberately allowed for these no parking buildings in neighborhoods like this.
Thank you for the information, Jeff.
I see that Jeff, our Westhaven Jeff, has his hand raised. Jeff, do you have another question?
Joe's got a knife.
I know you like
for the dog pills. Yeah, thanks. So first I do want to say, like, I support it. I think it's great to add more density. We need it big time, and Westboro is a great neighborhood. So yeah, let's bring more people in. It's awesome.
Leona.
Yes. Yeah, but I am a little bit confused about all of the explanations so far to make the 3 units into 6. Because I was talking with a neighbor fairly recently, and they recalled the property was up for sale a few years ago, and it was listed. We looked up the old listing. It was listed as 3 apartments plus 2 non-conforming units. So are there already 5 units in it? Or
no,
like, I just don't know how that.
So yeah, the listing agent at the time was trying to entice investors to show them that it can be converted the way it was designed, that it can be converted. They use words like non-conforming, but that didn't go through because there's no non-conforming units. It's a triplex that has the ability to be changed into different units in the future. Hence,
Okay.
things change.
The wording was very
the wording.
I
know. And I'll be honest with you, I was thinking of selling it, but I worked too hard for this place, and you know, my family's attached to it, so yeah, that's why things didn't work out. But real estate agents were always looking for different ways to entice different investors. But yeah,
Catherine, thanks for clarifying.
yes, sir. Mr. Cutler, do you have dinner yet, sir?
Well, I didn't really have any more questions.
Okay.
I guess I would say in applications like this, the community group tends to take into account the views of the neighbors to the extent that their views are realistic. And I say that because having been involved with this for so long, you get a sense of what's allowed under the zoning, what's going to get approved, what makes no sense legally. And neighbors who think they're going back to single family homes and stuff like that, fight against semis going in. There's nothing the community association can do, so we don't tend to, you know, do anything to support the neighbors in that case because it's not realistic. In the absence of hearing any fundamental complaints from the neighbors on this, and the only issue seems to be parking. My concern was what was going to happen to family housing, i.e. the 3-bedroom units. Those are going to be maintained. If those people have cars, as much as City Hall thinks we're all going to get rid of our cars, people with kids are probably less likely to get rid of their cars. So they might be parking on the street or they might be moving, but that's their choice. So I'm happy that it's still going to be a 1 2-bedroom and 1 2-bedroom and 2 3-bedrooms. If it was all going to be a whole bunch of 1-bedroom, I wouldn't be happy. I'm not sure there's anything I could do about it, but I wouldn't be happy because we're losing family housing here. So that's not an issue. You answered the accessibility question and how the exits will work. So I can't see any big issues with this. No, the only thing that came up really was the concern about will the landscaping happen?
Thank you, Mr. Cutler, for your time and for your input and for your support.
Does
Alice,
anyone else have any questions or comments? Sorry, Jeff. Oh,
yeah, no, I was going to ask you just to take us through what the next steps are and how people can influence the process.
Yes. So Susan and Mike, before I answer that, can you explain where you're at in terms of the process? Are you at step 1 of the pre-application process, or
We've had
where
our
are you at?
pre-application meeting.
Okay.
Hopefully everybody is halfway through preparing the reports and studies, or a little more than halfway through. And that's where we're at. And then I guess we have to, now with the new process, we have to meet with them again before we submit, make sure everything is good, I believe, and then we'll submit. But we're almost ready to submit.
And will you let us know when you do submit? Yeah, okay. And so folks, yeah, Susan and Mike will inform our office when they submit. And at that point too, I will find out who the staff planner is at the city. And you are welcome to submit your comments and concerns to staff, and you can send them to our office as well. And what's going to happen is staff will prepare a report that will go to Planning and Housing Committee with a recommendation. Staff does try to work towards reports that are affirmative, so that basically if there are any issues that staff has, they will try to work them out with Susan and Mike before it gets to the point of a recommendation to Planning and Housing Committee. So yes, so you can submit comments and concerns to the staff planner and to our office as well. And we will also make folks aware of when it is going to Planning and Housing Committee, because you will also have an opportunity to speak to committee if you'd like to at that point. Yeah, so like I said, Mike and Susan will trust that you'll let us know when you do submit, and I'm happy to relay that information to you, Lauren, and anyone else that would like that info. Please just send us an email to either jeff.leapier@ottawa.ca, or you can send it directly to me. My name is Alice, ALICE.Fife, FYFE @ottawa.ca.
Sorry, may I just ask, Susan, what have they given you any indication of when you might be on a committee date?
No,
No,
because we haven't submitted yet.
okay.
What do you mean committee,
Planning committee.
planning committee? No.
It's just the timelines. You're among the first cohort of new pre-application process, and then once you've submitted, I'm curious to see how fast they get that on a committee date, especially since this is not a complex application. Anyways, I'll follow with interest, obviously.
Right. Hopefully we won't have to have another meeting. This will be enough.
Yes.
Yeah, how many? So you've had one pre-application meeting?
Mhm.
So you
One,
may end up having a second, and then they'll skip the third, and then
they should
you
skip-
apply, and then off we go with the planning committee date within a couple months or within a month.
That's hopefully.
Yeah, the plan is to speed up the process here for the whole city.
We have been told to speed up the process, so
And you provided notices to all the neighbors about this meeting tonight, and only, I guess, 4 chose to
No,
come.
I didn't do the whole street. I did it myself, and I had my nephews help me out. We did our whole section to the round, everybody in front and everybody on the other side of us. But we didn't go up to where you were, Jeff, on the other side. Jeff found out, so the news got around, I assume.
Yeah, it was in the
And I don't think it's
newsletter.
necessary to do the
No.
whole street, but it is necessary to let I guess the houses within a few hundred meters on each side know about
Yes,
this.
sir. Yes, Mr. Cutler, I did that.
they'll put a sign up, right? Like
There's no
they
sign
still
up
do
there yet.
that.
I drove by it today.
They haven't
No,
applied yet.
no, we
That's
haven't
the new
applied.
process, right? They
Right.
they do the entire application process to the point where the planner is happy, and only once the planner is happy are they really able to apply, and then a sign goes up, and then like I don't even know what they talk about once the application's in, because
We go
they'll
to
have
the
done
legal
so much of the
department.
work pre-application.
I did drive by, my PSW drove me by.
Oh,
You cut out, Mr. Cutler. Speak up, please.
Sorry, that was a
It's sort
I
of
didn't
quiet.
drive by myself, my PSW drove me by.
yeah. It's but neighbors will see that sign go up, and
Okay.
it'll be in my newsletter as always.
Yeah, so it's a 60-day process.
yeah, that's the new process, the new requirement maximum. But the signs will be up for less time. I see signs up now for years. I guess people have gone to sleep on the project, right? And it's not going, and signs are going out. I'm walking by signs, they're up for years now.
Yeah, no, it'll be and I forget they must have addressed signs in the new this is the new 109 process. So they must have addressed signs in the 109 response report. I just don't remember what that said, but yeah, I mean those signs blink and you'll miss it.
And that's true. And if it's already going to legal, then there's not much time for comments. It's a
No, and that's I am grateful for sorry, I shouldn't say grateful, but I do appreciate, I guess, that developers thus far have been approaching the community pre-application, right? Like you folks are here pre-application, because that wasn't the predominant choice prior to the 109 response. But I think so far, I've yet to see one of the new process try to host the public meeting or try to host a public meeting once they've already applied. Because like you said, there'll be no points at that point, right? Well, I guess I mean, these meetings are about getting people the information they need to see whether or not they are then able to turn around and form an official plan response, right? That if they're opposed to something, but there won't be a lot of time to try to do that anymore once the open house has been held. Huh. Brave new world. Thank you, Doug Ford. Good for you folks.
Mhm.
Although from what I'm hearing, like on the complex files, the pre-application process is, it's just as onerous.
Mhm.
But I'm also hearing that there may be changes to it coming down the pipe again relatively soon. So it's been quite a term. Queen's Park is scrambling. Folks, I just want to say thank you very much to everyone for joining us. You can always reach me at jeff.leeper@ottawa.ca. If you're subscribed to my newsletter, I'll make sure that I have the notice of the application being filed and how you can submit comments to the planner in that. And otherwise, if you do have any questions about the process, please feel to reach out to myself. Yeah, and thank you very much for joining us.
Great. Thank
Have a
you.
great evening.
Everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Bye.
Thank you
Bye.
guys. Good
Bye.
night.
Good night.